We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Here comes the boom.
The boom is here. Are you ready to rumble? Welcome back, good people. It's been a minute.
Hey, gang. So, welcome to Number Society episode 2. I go by the name of Premium AG, and this is my main man, the seventh Dan, the man, the myth, the legend, Freddie XX.
What's up? What's up? It's been a minute since we dropped something, but all things are going well. Actually, we got a new space, we got a new office space, and it's all about leveling up. So we wanted to bring
New sponsors as well.
Yeah, new sponsors as well, and we wanted to bring you guys like the best of the best. So
as always,
yeah, we didn't want to just like drop anything, but
yeah, exactly.
We got an interesting episode for you guys today.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, once again, apologies for the delay. As you can see, the biceps have been getting bigger. So, tell George Bush the WMDs are here in full effect.
Yeah. But also make sure that you definitely
smash the subscribe button.
Yeah, exactly. Smash the subscribe button. Leave a comment and be sure to give us a thumbs up on the video. It helps the YouTube algorithm. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, definitely subscribe. We need all the subscriptions, and thanks for all the love that you guys gave us on the first episode.
Yeah, thank you. You guys are the best.
Yeah, definitely.
We had a massive footprint. So from Japan,
everywhere,
US, UK.
We got a lot of love.
Africa.
A lot of love.
Yeah, a lot of love.
Follow us on Instagram as well.
Yeah,
follow us on Instagram
at Number Society.
Number Society for sure.
Yeah, so let's get straight into it. So for today's episode, well, actually, the trailers you saw in the beginning are snippets from the following movies. So Fahrenheit 451, 1984, They Live, and Brave New World as well. So the theme for today's episode is on dystopia or reality. So what exactly is dystopia? So dystopia is a fictional community or society that is undesirable or frightening.
Yeah, keep those two things in mind, the undesirable and frightening. Segue into the episode.
Yes, it's very smooth, too smooth actually. So let's talk about the first movie. So it's called They Live. It's a movie by John Carpenter.
Yeah, isn't he he was a horror movie guy, right?
Yeah. He's one of the savants to come out of that genre. He's got a cult following.
Yeah.
So that movie was made in 1988, and it stars Roddy Piper, from
the wrestler.
Yeah, the wrestler. From WWF or WWE fame. It also stars what's her name? Meg Foster. Yeah. So
also, something cool about that movie is if you're familiar with I believe he was a graffiti artist, or he used to do these stencil artworks around the cities. I don't know who the guy was, but Obey. I don't know the artist's name, but if you're familiar with the T-shirts that said Obey, it had the OBEY in big letters, and they had all kind of cool stuff. It was cool about 15 years ago. Yeah. Anyway, that brand actually got its inspiration from They Live, the movie. So
they pretty much jacked the logo from that movie.
Yeah, so go check out the movie.
Yeah, so it's a dystopian movie, and in it, the main character puts on a pair of sunnies, and he sees subliminal messages.
Sunnies are sunglasses for non-Aussie people. They say sunnies down here.
Yeah, so he puts on a pair of shades, and sees subliminal messages telling people to conform to societal beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
the next one is Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
We had to read this in middle school, high school. It was requirement in I'm from Georgia, Atlanta, so it was definitely a requirement.
True.
Back then.
We were reading
some of these books actually were requirements to read.
We were reading Green Eggs and Ham. So
yeah. They wanted to keep you guys asleep. I'm just kidding. That's also a dystopian novel as well, written by Ray Bradbury. And it's actually one of his most famous works. He has another one that we mentioned Pretty much it's a future American society where books are outlawed, and there's these people named firemen who are pretty much destroying books, and if they find a book, they destroy it and they burn them. So the fireman, like Lil Wayne,
a Weezy ass baby, huh?
I'm the fireman, fire for fireman.
Yeah.
But also another thing for you, Michael B. Jordan lovers. It's a lot of you guys out there, women and guys, right? He killed it in Wakanda Forever, Black Panther. Yeah. But anyway, he actually starred in the Fahrenheit 451 movie from 2018.
No way.
The more recent one. So you can definitely go check it out. It was an HBO thing. So I don't know if you got HBO. You know, HBO, you need to pay us. Shout out to the plug.
Yeah, for sure. Hook us up with a subscription.
Exactly.
I mean, it's the least you could do.
Yeah, and definitely like he was in the 2008 one. There was an older one as well that came out, I believe, in like the 50s or 60s or 70s. I
believe in 1953 around that time.
Go check that one out. Actually, I've kind of liked that one, so more than the newer one. But go check out both, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Educate yourself.
Yeah.
Inform yourself.
Great movies.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All great movies. So, like the next movie is 1984. It was written by George Orwell. And again, it's another dystopian science fiction. Like in it, like the civilization has been damaged by World War, civil conflict, and revolution as well. Like in one of the scenes, they actually have like a 300-meter high pyramid. And like there's like a flag at the top of the pyramid. And like it shows 3 slogans. War
is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. Like that, I think you can think a little bit about it, but I think to see the film, it'll make a lot more sense than us just saying it. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, what we're telling them is pretty much going to consolidate what they're going to get from watching the movie.
Yeah, and listening to our episode today.
Exactly. Yeah. But like you were killing him like slowly just then.
Hey man, I'm just trying to do my Lauryn Hill thing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, ready or not.
Here I come. Well, here Brick Brother comes. You can't hide. Gonna find you and listen slowly. Actually, in the 1984 movie, there was this thing that listened to everybody, and they're kind of like Siri or Alexa in our cell phones now. So, and another fun fact, we dropping facts on this episode. Steve Jobs invented Apple in 1984.
What a coincidence.
Or he went public in 1984, I believe.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, and also Apple has Siri, and in 1984 there was something that existed in everybody's home. Anywhere you went, it was always listening. And this is a novel that came out in the late 40s. Yep. Right? And so that's kind of interesting to like, I don't know. Steve Jobs, he's ahead of his time.
Yeah, for sure. R.I.P. to the legend.
R.I.P.
Yeah, so, big up to him.
Black turtleneck gang.
Yeah, exactly. I need to get me one. And some New Balances as well.
We got the black on today, though.
Yeah, black on black.
You got the nice old habits.
With the old habits, you see me shining in OH.
Yeah, I got the RO. Some of that baby RO on.
Yeah.
Dark shadow.
Yeah, keep it up. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. So the next movie is Brave New World. So again, it's another dystopian, like social science fiction, like novel by like an English author by the name of Aldous Huxley. It was written in 1931, published in 1932, and in it, like citizens are pretty much put into like a social like hierarchy. And based off of like their intelligence, and some of the main themes from it were reproductive technology, sleep learning, psychological manipulation, classical conditioning, all combined in a pot to make very interesting dystopian society.
Sounds like
science fiction.
Sounds like some MK Ultra or CIA shit. But maybe not.
Yeah.
We don't want to sound like conspiracy theorists.
No. It's not what we're trying to do, and we're not.
Are you batshit crazy?
Depends on who you ask.
I guess most of these films or novels have some kind of like overall theme to them,
Yeah.
and a lot of them like kind of overlap each other.
Yeah.
The biggest one in Fahrenheit 451 is like censorship,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And the firemen are pretty much banning and burning books, you know, to keep information away from people. Also, like ignorance and knowledge, and the role of technology. Also, the power of books, alienation, dehumanization. The role of like mass media is something else.
Yeah, for sure. And how mass media is used to control the actions of the populace as well. So like another one was like two other themes were loss of individuality and passivity as well.
Yeah.
Because it was written just after like World War II, and like the author saw people as being very passive during that time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, also in Brave New World, this one is actually more interesting for me. But yeah, like the dangers of genetic engineering. Like the novel depicts a society in where babies are grown in jars. They're growing babies in jars, which now they got these test tube babies, pretty much just like the same
Designer
thing.
babies
in L.A., California. Michael Jackson may have been, his child. What was it, Prince and I don't know, Foofy or I don't know. Anyway, he had test tube babies. This IVF thing, like women freezing their eggs and then like coming back later, and like another person can carry your babies. It's like, we're pretty much there. But this is a part of eugenics, which is something that the Nazis were actually doing, and they weren't doing like test tube babies, but they were practicing eugenics, which was pretty much being able to be selective in who you breed with, and pure races and like all this stuff like that. But in this book, they were particularly like choosing certain features or attributes so that you can fall into a certain place in society. Yeah. So
Good stuff. Another one was promiscuity to achieve happiness. Kind of parallels what's happening in today's society, how like people are spoiled with options as far as like dating sites, apps like etc. And like in that movie, promiscuity was pretty much used to detach people from like having like bonds.
Right. Yeah. Like the whole thing was that they wanted to make sure that you didn't like have any strong bonds with like individuals, and like the word family was an obscene word.
Yeah. Like Voldemort, right?
Yeah, it was like you don't say it. And mother and father was another thing, because you got to remember that they were test tube babies. So they were born from test tubes. So they didn't have a mother or father. So which kind of goes back to the whole thing about like family, right? That was something like the destruction of the institutional family. Like they, people are not born, but they are decanted in these hatcheries, right? Yeah. And medically and physically, psychologically manipulated. Like it's kind of interesting. Like, and depending on your attractiveness, your strengths, your intelligence, you like fall into a certain place in society. Yeah. Yeah.
And people's like loyalty was towards the state.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the actual family and loved ones.
Or friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of like World War II, like like how like with Hitler, like and the SS, like they'll pit like family members against each other based off of like their beliefs.
Yeah. Also, and Joseph Stalin was also responsible for that.
Yeah. For
during the emergence of like communism taking over the world and stuff like this. But it's really interesting. It's really interesting stuff, especially the whole thing about like breaking down what the ideal family is. What people into 2021 consider a family is not the same idea of what a family was 50, 60 years. Same for our grandparents.
Yeah, no, it's totally changed.
Right, like everything's changed. Like you can have babies and like somebody can have your baby for you, and that's not your mother anymore, because that's her mother technically. Yep. But that's her.
With someone else's sperm.
Hey, listen.
And no one has to pay child support.
Listen. We're gonna not be calling anybody mother or father or anything. Like it's gonna be messy. It's gonna be messy. It's messy world. They should call this the new messy world instead of Brave New World.
Yeah, that's exactly what they should call it. But yeah, we just skimmed, like some of the themes. There's so many themes from that movie. So it also touches on having a caste system, the dangers of a powerful totalitarian state. The incompatibility of happiness and truth, just to name a few as well.
Yeah, wherever you're born at in that, like you stay on that level, which is a caste system.
Yeah, for sure.
So you don't come out, wherever you come in at is where you at. Sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. With 1984, like the main one is technology. Technology, and
that's like pretty much like the Orwellian's Ministry of Truth and Siri and Apple and Amazon. Like this is before Apple and Amazon and stuff, but it's kind of like pretty much what we're dealing with.
Yeah, because the main city was had like telescreens, hidden microphones. Keeping tabs on people.
Yeah, like you actually couldn't go anywhere. It would, if you went into a room, something was listening to you. Also, there was this whole thing about trustworthiness, which we'll bring up later. Something that is actually really interesting, like trustworthiness, currently in China. But we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep listening.
So all of these movies kind of tie into like the overarching theme, which is social conditioning. So social conditioning refers to training people to think and act in a certain way, whether through using positive or negative reinforcements. And it starts at birth as well. And it comes in many manifestations. So some of these manifestations being nationalism, education, employment, entertainment. Pop culture, religion,
spirituality, like family life.
Yeah. So Confucius said it best: "He who controls the images controls the minds." So is this art imitating life, or life imitating art, or is it a bit of both?
I think it's maybe life imitating art because it kind of came before.
Yeah,
maybe something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so fun fact, right? When I was reading the Business Insider in 2011, they pretty much stated that there's 6 companies that have a monopoly, like on the media, and the 6 most powerful media conglomerates at the moment are Viacom, Disney, News Corp, Comcast,
Facebook.
Netflix.
Yeah. Netflix came out of nowhere too.
Yeah.
But actually did it come out of nowhere? Actually, you know what? That's the question for later. We got some giveaways today. We'll bring that up later.
Yeah,
we'll bring that up. How it's all connected.
I mean,
how it's all connected.
Christmas is gonna come early for one of our lucky viewers. Yeah. So in terms of social conditioning, it originally started with Sigmund Freud, who's the father of psychoanalysis, and he saw society like create mechanisms to ensure like social control of human instincts, and his nephew was Edward Bernays, so he was considered like the father of propaganda and public relations, and he used like a lot of his uncle's theories to create new methods of marketing. Matter of fact, in his book, he pretty much stated that if you understand the mechanism and the motives of the group mind, it's possible to control and regiment masses according to our will, without them even knowing it. Pretty much talking about how you can pretty much dictate people's actions through advertising.
Right.
And he worked on a campaign to popularize cigarettes amongst women, and this was like back in 1927. And he worked with the American Tobacco Company.
Yeah,
and
he was like the father of propaganda.
Yeah,
and and pretty much like the whole thing was he wanted to well, tobacco companies wanted to increase sales, right? Yeah. And so they played on this idea of, women wanting to have some kind of power in society, and which was pretty much, he wanted to persuade women, instead of eating, smoke cigarettes.
Smoke instead.
Instead of consuming more sugar, smoke more cigarettes, and because they wanted to make women thinner. Like there was this whole thing to like make women thinner, so they were using photographers, artists, newspapers, and magazines to promote special beauty in thin women. So and another thing that was really interesting was that like smoking was a form of feminist liberation. So they dubbed these cigarettes that they were smoking because they had the cigarette smoking in and put it in the middle of the finger, so it was like a phallic pretty much. And this was dubbed the cigarette torches of freedom. It's kind of interesting. So it's nothing is by coincidence. I feel like when we see it on an advertisement or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of like hidden cues. There's a lot of hidden messages. They use like a lot of subliminal tactics to get people's attention. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So of the 6 companies we mentioned just then, right? This goes back to us, offering like a little giveaway for our fans. So I'm gonna ask you a question, right? And if you guess correctly in the comments, we'll send you $50. In Bitcoin. So we want to ask you. So of the six companies we mentioned just then, guess which media company was ran by Edward Bernays' nephew. So if you guess correctly, we'll
send you like $50 in Bitcoin. And so the first person, make sure you leave a comment below. In the section on YouTube, you got to be on our YouTube channel to really like get this, but leave your answer below. And if you have a Bitcoin wallet or address, more so address, leave your address underneath that or next to it, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. It could be AUD, USD, whatever. So
get that money.
Yeah, for sure. Get that paper.
So some examples of like modern social conditioning are like algorithms on like streaming platforms that prioritize violence and sexual content. So this is like another example of like social conditioning.
Yeah. Games like GTA. I mean,
like pretty much like most modern games, like the most popular ones are like have some kind of violence in it, whether it be like Fortnite. I mean, it's cartoonish, but like it's still, you're killing something, you're destroying something, right? And this is kind of like a part of social conditioning, like going to war. Like people, I remember there was a big thing talking about like Call of Duty and the fact that it was desensitizing, almost dehumanizing in a way, right? Because you can kill somebody and not have no remorse about it. And some of these, I don't want to say like mass murders go out and they do it because they play video games, but some people have said video games have attributed to, them doing some of the stuff that they do. So like I remember watching like a video on Vice, and there was like a drone operator for like the U.S. Army, and pretty much got hired based off of how good he was at playing Call of Duty. Wow.
Yeah.
Also, people like pursuing dead end jobs to like pay bills and at the expense of people's mental health. Like there are people that's just doing jobs just because like they need to pay bills. And there's no end in sight. And it's kind of crazy. Or the vaccine passports and in New York and Paris, like we're being conditioned to check in Australia, check in at various places you go, and everywhere you got to check in. So are we being conditioned to always be
on the grid?
On the grid. I mean, our iPhones are already like listening and tracking where we're doing and what we're watching or what we're looking at. Google is especially. Our data's being sold. You was telling me about this before. But
for sure.
Another thing is like body dysmorphia. A lot of people are not, they look in the mirror and they see something else. And the ideas of beauty are really, this is not nothing new, but like going back to Edward Bernays, like the idea of what beauty is, we've been kind of, these images are projected to us, and we think that this is what it should be. So women who are thinner now maybe aren't necessarily as popular as they were maybe 10, 20 years ago during the Baywatch era.
Yeah.
Now it's like the Kim Kardashian, the curvy with
the Afrocentric,
the BBLs,
yeah,
you know, the
like
Afrocentric
image.
full lips.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, we went from this Eurocentric like ideals of what beauty is, right? And symmetrical faces and this, and to now like everybody is getting full lip injections.
Not me.
BBLs. We're not us. We got these. We have special features that we don't need to pay for. But shout out to whatever you got to do what you got to do. Whatever, get a BBL.
Get that Kardashian special.
Hey, listen, if we had promo codes, we would drop them below in the video below, but we don't. So hey, listen,
Do a family special for years off.
we wish we could. We could go to Brazil. Go to Thailand. Whatever you gotta do.
Do a family special. Include your sisters.
But
your
not just women though, bro. Like men as well. Like, because I go to the gym and I've been trying to pump that iron lately, and dude, you know how many people have come up to me and said, "Yo, man, you want some juice, or what they call them roids, or get on this or whatever." Yeah. Like, so even men like have this pressure on them to want to be bigger or want to look more fit or whatever it is. And, and I see dudes that are huge already, and I'm like, man, how much bigger do you need to be?
Yeah. Well, TLC said the best, don't go chasing waterfalls.
Hey, listen.
Like another one is this idea or this construct that diamonds are a girl's best friend, and it all stems from like De Beers wanted to promote like diamonds back in the 1920s, just after like the Great Depression. So there's this. I know like there's some fellas that will take out 6-figure like loans just to get like a ring. But
I mean, if you love the girl, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Yeah, but a 6-figure loan. I mean, like T.I. say, it ain't tricking if you got it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, sure. I mean, but it's more so interesting to find out like that the whole idea of buying a wedding ring was actually another propaganda thing that came out of the De Beers, which is the family was there in South Africa or pretty much all over Africa.
Yeah, Southern Africa. Yeah,
but they pretty much mine. Well, they use like the native African people in whatever region to mine the diamonds out the ground, blood diamonds. And sell them around the world, and they call them engagement rings. Yeah. Right? So this is kind of interesting, and it in fact is worth at least 50% less than what you paid for the moment that you leave the jeweler. But that's like most stuff. You leave the car dealership, the price drops as soon as you drive off. Yeah. So we're all being duped. But not to say that you shouldn't go out and buy an engagement ring. If that's what you want to do, or you see the value in it, do it. Yeah. Like,
have fun.
Yeah. One day I will do the same thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure we all will. We all will.
It's expected of us. Yeah. Women are actually proposing to men too these days. Like women are dropping to the knee as well. So we live in a world where everything's equal now. We want everything to be equal, right?
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. Let's see. Somebody drop to the knee and propose to Premium AG.
Shit, I wouldn't be surprised.
Damn. Yeah. So also like conservatives, another thing for social conditioning is conservatives seeing people of color as like troublemakers, and potentially like infringing on their rights. Another one is like, even on the other side, is liberals seeing people of color as productive members of society, and if you're gainfully employed. So as long as you're like employed and you're doing something, you're valuable. So
I mean, left wing, right wing, they're all part of the same bird at the end of the day.
Exactly. We all going to the same place.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So, another one is addiction to social media. So, would you care to, tell the listeners what a former Facebook executive said? Like,
I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's like Chamath Palihapitiya. Yeah. Sorry, man, I slandered your name. But yeah, he's a Bitcoin advocate right now. But yeah, I was gonna say that yeah, pretty much he said that social media is ripping apart the fabric of society, and the short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops that we have created are destroying how society works. And no civil discourse, no corporation, misinformation, truth. And it's not an American problem. This is not about Russian ads. This is a global problem. So he's saying that pretty much like our addiction is at the point where like, yeah, it's going to cause a lot of mental health for people.
Yeah.
And he actually kind of went in more and explained it as well.
Yeah, I believe like 5 to 10% off like people in the States are addicted to social media. So, shit, globally.
So pretty much it's dopamine being released in your brain every time you get a like. When you see a notification pop up on your phone, you're actually getting dopamine. It's releasing in your brain, which is the same dopamine that gets released when you do illicit drugs. Like, you know, we're not supporting any drug use. So, you know, but yeah, pretty much,
Yeah, crack is whack.
But yeah, it's the same thing. So is this a drug? Is addiction? You know, you can be addicted to a lot of things, and this is clearly one thing of addiction that people,
Yeah, for sure. As far as like the future of social conditioning goes, you got things such as like a social credit system. China rolled out one in 2009, I believe. And actually, it began in 2009.
They started the pilot in 2009, but I think it got like rolled out in 2014. Yeah, like it went in effective in 2014, and it's pretty much like a credit system that it's a social credit. That's a unified system for businesses, individuals, governments, institutions that track and evaluate your trustworthiness. We talked about that earlier, which is in the 1984. Where they're listening, and they got the Ministry of Truth and like all this stuff. But the credit system is closely related to China's mass surveillance system, and this is similar to like Skynet, which is we talked about in the first episode with Elon Musk. He has Skynet with Skylink. With Neuralink. And interesting stuff. So it's like facial recognition, big data, AI, like all this stuff. Go listen to the first episode if you missed it. And you know, pretty much this social credit system is kind of scary because it like is going to prevent people from, you know, moving outside certain districts, taking public transport, traveling internationally. Like, so if your credit score is too bad, you won't be able to go anywhere. It gets affected if you don't pay your debts, or if you commit a crime, or if you jaywalk. Or if you spit on the ground and the camera sees you, you can like, boop, you lose your credit score, which is, there's movies that show this type of stuff happening now, but this is something that's actually really happening right now. And it's actually a word for this type of system, like democracy or whatever.
Plus algorithms is algocracy. So
say that again.
Algocracy. So it's pretty much ruling through algorithms. And
even like social media and when it comes to social media algorithms, we keep hearing algorithm. How do you beat the YouTube or the Instagram algorithm or the TikTok algorithm? And pretty much like we're being conditioned now, like even for YouTube, like YouTube teaches you, and like YouTube Academy and educates you on how to take advantage of like when you upload content. In order to rise or gain followers or viewers, you need to understand the algorithm. And this is a part of our social conditioning so that we can learn this. And I'm sure like 10 years from now, there are going to be books on how to beat the algorithm. There's already books now, but there's going to be master books on how to beat algorithms, because we're at the end of the day, we need to feed the system, right?
Yeah, for sure.
We're feeding data into the system, and the system is giving back us like algorithms to help strengthen it, right?
Yeah. Well, the new Matrix movie is going to come out soon, right?
Oh, yeah. We need to do a show on that.
Yeah, for sure.
The Matrix movie.
For sure.
I love the Matrix movies, by the way. Really, really good stuff to break down. We might have to break down one of the Matrix movies, bro. That would be a good episode. Let us know if we should break down the Matrix movie. We definitely down to do that.
Yeah.
But also like something that's kind of like a bad part of the whole like algorithm thing is like algorithm bias. Yeah, like racially biased policing is also in the spotlight with like tools from law enforcement. and including like widely used and completely unregulated facial recognition technology.
I believe it was banned like in New York, right? Like a few years ago.
They were using like things to like, target certain people or to say like this person could be a terrorist or this person could be a criminal or whatever
based off of facial features
and maybe even skin color.
So like like with these algorithms, they'll have a skewed like data set that will be used to discriminate people.
Well, in 2016, there was an international beauty contest that was judged by AI, and it was trained on like thousands of pictures, right? And like it was more than 6,000 people that entered the contest. I believe out of the 44 winners that were white, only one of them out of the 44 winners
who were considered beautiful, right?
Yeah, who were considered beautiful. Only one of them was a person with darker skin. And this is not people judging, but this is AI judging, right? So that's something to like really take into account, like when we can start to consider like, dealing with artificial intelligence, like what do they think about people with certain colors and who's writing the code and who's teaching them the code, like who's writing the code for the AI. And this is like the new paradigm that we really don't understand yet.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, you do, because you probably like. Well, I don't think you do AI learning. Like,
no, I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's because like the data is skewed. So you got so many data points, right? With people from a certain race, then you've got your minority within that data set. So that's why the results were like overwhelming, like towards like a certain race.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
So that's what happened. I mean, garbage in, garbage out. So that's how to like best look at it.
In 2015, like Google apologized when like black users complained that the the image identification algorithms in like the photo apps identify them as gorillas. Damn you, Google. And another one is even in like Nikon was criticized when its image recognition algorithm consistently like asked Asians, were they blinking? And Nikon is an actual Japanese company.
It's a Japanese company.
So were they discriminating against? I wouldn't call this discriminating. I think it's just like bad AI coding. I don't know.
It's bad coding.
Right.
They didn't train or test like their code like enough.
They just launched it.
They
didn't do the agile process.
Not at all.
No, that is agile. They just throw it out there, right?
They're just gonna keep on making revisions. Revisions.
Right. Also, there's another app, the LGBTQ dating app application called Grindr. Apparently,
used it before.
Yeah, it was apparently linking. I've never used it before, but they was apparently using like applications designed to find sex offenders. And the Android store was recommending them who use that app other applications to find sex offenders and like stuff that was incorrectly related to homosexuality and pedophilia. So
foul.
Yeah, it's a bit like messed up. So these algorithms, we got to be careful with these algorithms. They
for sure
some dangerous stuff happening.
They get carried away.
We all need to learn coding. To be honest with you,
for sure,
we all need to learn coding at some point in our future.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone does.
Yeah, but damn those Android users, man.
Here we go.
Hey, listen,
here we go.
Apple, we need some sponsorship. He's an Android user. We want to get you on the Apple gravy train, bro. Like it's gravy over here, dog.
Apple is always 10 years late to the party.
No.
Like now they're celebrating 12 megapixel cameras. Some of us want 108 megapixels.
Listen, we don't really want to expose Samsung over here. So
I got a phone from like 2 years ago as well. So
no, you know what? I always look at it as quantity over quality.
Okay.
No, actually, sorry, I take that back. It's quality over quantity.
You said it. That's exactly.
That's Samsung, man. They love to just pump out a bunch of stuff, but like I feel like Apple has a little bit. Okay, who got the best camera, bro?
For now,
Apple.
Exactly. Yeah, no.
Hey, I got the new iPhone 13 like literally a couple days ago, and it's the iPhone 13 Pro Max. It's great. We actually shooting video on this one as well, so you guys will see that later. We're shooting video for the YouTube and like all the platforms.
Yeah.
But yeah, the real question is, now that we're kind of closing up the show, is like, are we living in a dystopian world, or is this just reality of what it is, or some of the stuff that we mentioned throughout the show? Do you see the parallels in these books that was written 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago? Like, is there truth in there, or is it just like we're just batshit crazy?
Yeah, I
That's
guess
for them to answer.
Yeah,
You guys tell us. Tell us in the comments whether you think we're just crazy or we just, pulling things out. But like, it's really interesting and eye-opening to see that these authors was,
ahead of their time.
Yeah, ahead of their time, and that they was able to see things before. So, but yeah, like, that's pretty much how things roll on this side of the block.
That's how the cookie crumbles. So, thanks for tuning into episode 2. We pretty much have episode 3 planned out, but like if you have like any suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. Feel free to subscribe, send us messages, etc.
Yeah, be sure to subscribe, smash the thumbs up button. It helps the YouTube algorithm. We talked about algorithms. Remember that. We need your support because we care about you guys, and thank you for listening to us as well.
At Numbers Society.
So, yeah, make sure that you follow us at Spotify, on Instagram, and soon Apple Music at Numbers Society. Pretty much that's how we roll, man.
Yeah, exactly. All the time. Yeah, it's me, Premium AG, in the vicinity with my main man, Fred D, talking about the ABCs of social conditioning.
Hey, we try to keep things a little jiggy over here. You know what I mean?
Keep it tuned for EP
Getting jiggy
3.
with it. No. Okay, cool. So, till next time. Peace, gang. Peace, and take care. Keep your eyes open. And just stay tuned. Thanks for listening to Number Society.
Yeah, thanks,
Episode
guys.
number 2.
Peace.
Yeah.
Number Society up in this